I am Megan Holcomb with All Care Software, and I'm going to be walking you through adding a client into your software. So if we click on this client information tab, there are three drop downs here. There's the client service verification and eligibility. Today we're just going to focus on this client piece. There's a lot that you can do within the software that pertains to your clients. Adding a client, which is what we're going to do today, you can run reports, you can get QP information, you can get an authorization report that shows who is coming due with their authorizations, or if there's any expired ones, you can download labels. You can create a client monitor list if you're wanting to watch certain clients more closely. There's a lot that you can do, but we're just going to highlight on this add client portion. These are all the different tabs down here within the specific client profile. The four that are most important for us for running billing effectively are general, start of care, certification, and authorization. So the notes section is any notes that you want to put based on this particular client so that anyone else within your organization can see that. All the starred information in this general tab is required to run billing. But I always say if you're paying for the software, why not fully utilize it to the full capacity? So for the sake of demonstration, we're just going to do the required information at this time. I'm just going to add a generic address in. And when you click copy address, this is going to auto-populate into the different fields, including the county, which is nice. So once we have all of the required information in, we're going to go up and hit save. And then we're just going to move down the line. So start of care, this is when the client came to your agency. So if we go back up to edit, we're going to add a start of care, put the date, company, and that's all we need right now because we are not just discharging this client. So we're going to hit save. And then we're going to move on to the certification. We're going to click add certification. Start of care will auto-populate based on what you put in. Start date, we're just going to do this again. Whoops. No end date. Now, ICD-10 is the diagnosis code that they have that's listed on their authorization. This is why they're receiving services. We're just going to select a general one right at the top, but you can put in their physician's information in here, what clinic they attend, all those things. We're going to hit save and close. And then we're going to move again right down the line to authorization. We're going to click add authorization. And this is the authorization sheet that you get from DHS. And it is so important that you go line by line because oftentimes they'll have multiple authorizations and you want to make sure that we're capturing all that information. So company, start date according to the authorization. This date will probably might be different than when they actually came to you. It's usually a year, I would say. Who the payer is, we're going to select MA. Service. I'm just going to say that this person T1019. There might be a specific auth number. Put that in, please. And the total units that they're approved for. And then their insurance number. Now, if there's another line, this is where you would click that plus sign and add the next line in. And you can just keep building. And then once you're all finished, hit save and close. There is this temp auth box. So if your client's authorization expired and you're waiting on the new authorization and you still need to do things like clock in with electronic verification, that will allow you to do so in the meantime until you get the new authorization. So we're going to hit save and close. And we have successfully entered in all the information that is required for billing. Now, if you are providing services that are required for electronic verification, you do have to fill out two more tabs. So we're going to click on this service tab and we're going to configure a service. So why are they here? So we're going to say PCA complex just because. And then you need to drag over what specific services or activities they're needing. So let's say this particular client needs help with dressing, toileting, and bathing. And then we're just going to hit save and close. And then we also need to connect a relationship with them. So attach them to an employee. So we're going to hit relationship. We're going to create a new relationship and select one of our employees from the dropdown. Select the service, PCA complex, the active date, we'll say today. You can fill out any electronic forms here. You can select relationship type. So if they're like a live-in mom or child or whatever, you can note that as well. So we're going to hit save. And now you're ready to use the EVV app. You can create a login for your employee. You can create information for your client. But those things are needed to drive that EVV app. So there's also some other things that I'm going to quickly go over that you can utilize within the client tab, and that's evaluation and notes. So anytime you make phone calls, if you're putting those in this service verification, they will populate over here. You can list their contacts. So if they have emergency contacts, case managers, that sort of thing, you can list all those people here. You can put their medication. You can scan and upload any documents that you have for this client. You can go into dynamic client forms, and this is where we have already put in forms on the back end of the software. And if you have specific forms that are for your agency, as long as they're an editable PDF, we can upload those for you and customize that for you. I'm just going to show you one generic one. So if you click generate, it populates like this so that you can just type and move on throughout the document and save, and that'll store right here. There's the onboard checklist. So if you have specific things that you like to do when a client comes onto your agency to onboard them for intake, we can actually create a checklist for you that's customized to your specific agency. Progress reports, and you can also see utilization here. And you can send an over or an under utilization letter as well from within the software. I hope that this was beneficial. If you have any questions, feel free to reach out at info@allcaresoftware.com. But that is a rundown of how to enter a client.